back on everyone. It's another episode of Written Off.
Oh, my baby, that was fantastic. But our listeners demand the most annoying intro. They'll accept nothing less. So when you say written off, you have to go long and high. Like, written off. Can you do it?
Written Off!
Welcome, friends, one and all, to another implausibly incredible episode of Written Off. I am your host, Bradley Freeman. Hey, how are you? How have you been? We've missed you. You've been gone so long. What were you doing? Were you cheating on us with another podcast? Worse, another movie podcast? It was those sons of bitches on the Kingcast, wasn't it? Anyway, so happy that you're with us today. Not fucking happy to talk about this fucking fuck of a movie because, this movie. Whoa. Let me tell you, I'd rather deal with burst anal warts than to ever see this movie again. But speaking of, no, I can't introduce you with that kind of thing. Even I have my limits, Mark. Even I have restraint. You might be surprised. With me, as always, suffering in silence, is my wonderful co-host, Mark Tasker. Mark, how you doing?
Well, apologetic. I suggested this film. I know you hadn't seen it, but problem shared is a problem halved. I think it is. We've been talking about Dominion. That has different problems. Maybe, how can I put it? I might even watch that film again. This film, never again.
Well, spoilers, everyone. Considering the film after this film that got released, what is that fucking title? What is the next movie called? Jesus Christ, it's something. Is it Scamander's Scatological Snake? No. Bim Bloxam and the Curious Goat. No, wait. Gryffindor's Crabs. No. Hobbity Scobbity and the bells of a withering box office. Grumble Gruff and the disaster. Grumble Gruff and the deadly bleach. The taint that wouldn't be tickled. Fuck, I don't know.
I think it's I think Dumbledore makes it into the title of the next one, doesn't he?
The Secrets of Dumbledore. I love reading the Wikipedia on that one because it's basically sequel ? And it's like, well, J.K. Rowling said there'd be 5 of them at least, and then her producing partner Steve Kloves is like, hey, what, 5? And then now it's been shelved.
Maybe there'll come a time where we'll watch that third film.
Is that a threat or a promise? I can't distinguish. Well, maybe there's a time in the future we'll fucking watch this goddamn film.
I think, well, it'll depend how this conversation goes, because we haven't actually discussed anything apart from broad strokes about what you think about this film, and you've literally just watched it. I think the third one, the central theme of that plot is Grindelwald, who's not Johnny Depp at that point. He has to kill a small deer. It's kind of a deer, and then poison another deer in order for that poisoned deer to choose him as the kind of Uberführer. And you watch it. I don't know if I respect it, the fact that it got made, because it is batshit, absolutely batshit. I can't tell you how batshit it is.
Speaking of batshit, I often feel quite bad because I willingly admit to watching some movies that you have rolled your eyes at. But then you've fucking seen all 3 of these goddamn movies that I so wisely avoided.
Absolutely, yeah.
We both just shoot ourselves in the face.
Well, background. I'm sure like most people, my relationship with Harry Potter films it's something that my wife enjoys, and we usually put it on in when it's actually this season when it starts to get a bit dark and a bit grim, and it sort of lightens things up, and you sort of treat it as like a drinking game comfort sort of thing. I think that's the vast majority of people that like Harry Potter movies of my age. That's how they treat them.
What? So like every time he says Harry, like how does this drinking game get played? Just for future knowledge.
Well, the first one is Hagrid, Well, what does he say?
Okay.
He keeps fucking up basically, and every time he goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have." His line in that is, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that." And so every time he says that, you have a drink. There's two brilliant characters in the second one. They're just bystanders, but they have a couple of lines. I'm pretty sure they're like producers' children or something, and they're really, really, really incredibly posh. Oh, Harry, I can't believe you've done that, Harry. When they come on, we always pause it and sort of raise a toast. And there are lots of little bits and pieces in that series. So then when Fantastic Beasts came out, the wife and I went to see it at the cinema.
And you got blitzed.
Well, I mean, I didn't like the first one, and I didn't see what the point of it was. It felt like a waste of money and a waste of time, but it didn't feel as assaulting as the second one. Second one, I didn't see at the cinema. Third one, didn't see at the cinema. Let's make that clear. In theory, the world is a fun world to go into, and there are one or two tiny bits in this second film. The world itself is quite engaging and quite alluring for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it's not alluring anymore. I've watched it yesterday for the second time, and it'll be, as I say, it'll be the last time.
If you haven't guessed already, folks, or for some reason you haven't checked the episode title, today we're discussing Fantastic Beasts, the crimes of Grindelwald. Now, it's a shitty joke. I'm sure it's been made before, but I couldn't find no fucking crimes in this movie.
No.
You watch Les Miserables. You see Hugh Jackman steal that fucking bread. You know his crimes.
He does kill a baby.
Oh, yeah, but no one else knows about that.
No, true. It's the hidden crime, singular, of Grindel, or the hidden alluded to crime of Mr. Grindelwald. Yeah. In a way, that's a good summation. This is the problem with this film. The writer, she who shall not be named, doesn't know what she's doing. Like, it's very, very obvious. She forgets her own logic all the time. She says things in the script, and then things happen immediately afterwards which don't match what's literally just been said. She thinks she's still writing a book, but she's not. So all of the stuff that would be fleshed out in the book is not there. So the people watching it, just like, what?
Can I ask, sorry to put you on the spot, you are in fact a British person.
Yeah.
The whole she who shall not be named of it all, look, facts are facts. Those 7 Harry Potter books are dynamite. I'm very much looking forward to reading those. It's the cliche, I know, I'm a basic bitch, but I'm very much looking forward to reading those to my boys at night before they go to sleep when they are of age.
Yeah.
She can fucking write. She is a legitimately great author, and her world, it's been said before by far more talented people, she's got the goods. I do not know what has happened aside from the noxious, terrible, inflammatory, malformed things that she's been saying ever since she opened her chest to the world and black liquid spewed out.
Yeah.
But can you explain it? Is it just that she can't do a screenplay, or is it...
It's a really, really good question. And I think it is one of the mysteries of our time. Obviously, Potter cribs from, famously, obviously, Lord of the Rings, Worst Witch. And in this film, there's literally a Palantir. This weird old man has got a Palantir. Oh, all right then. She cribs off a lot of things. I do not have an answer. And I said to my wife yesterday, I'm like, maybe it was all a con. Maybe they were all ghost written. Maybe she just sat in the famous coffee shop in Edinburgh and just said, why don't we do this? And someone else wrote it and she killed them. Because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously at this point...
You're dead, love. You're fucking dead.
Exactly. They just went, thanks for that, and just shivved them. Is it to do with how famous and powerful she got? Maybe there was a massive amount of editorial control or editorial assistance on those books that we just didn't really find. I know Bloomsbury, her relationship with them was very, very important. So maybe it was just a lot more important than we thought. Obviously, Warner Brothers thought the Golden Goose is going to take a bigger role in these, and it can't go wrong. A lot of people, like I did. I went into that first one thinking, well, this can't go wrong, really. I love animals. They're going to be cute animals. The visual aesthetics of these films are not bad. The costumes are good, and the structure of the world is good. And if you ever go to the Harry Potter experience, it's a nice thing to see. A lot of great craftsmen have made these films. I don't think anyone will ever know. And there's a lot of brilliant YouTube essays, especially from, understandably, the transgender community, who are much, much, much more eloquent into what's happened to her than I am. I mean, you tipped me off to it. I mean, we should say that. Brad is the one that first even told me about what Rowling was saying on Twitter, because obviously I'm not on Twitter. And I think I even said to you, yeah, actually probably just a one-off thing. And Brad went, not really.
Doubling and tripling down on it.
A little shout out to a YouTuber called Sean, who's quite an enigmatic figure. He makes these YouTube videos with no video at all. It's just like a little cartoon with a little skull in the corner, and he just talks for sort of 1 or 2 hours. He does a brilliant one about Rowling and the people Rowling has surrounded herself with. Anyway, let's put that aside. I watched this film yesterday. It's completely inexplicable. I'll give you one quick example. Well, no, I want to know what you think about it. So let's start with the proceedings.
Mark and I, we're schmucks. We know we're schmucks. We know that our opinions mean little. Buy one of my books and say, yeah, you're right. You can't fucking write for shit. What the hell are you having a podcast for? Yada, 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 yada. When it comes to a franchise as beloved as this, and Mark and I, we've done a few franchises now, and there's a lot more in the future for us to do. Please note that whatever opinions we have, it's just us. The purpose of this podcast, as always, is from our point of view to take a mid movie, as the kids say, or a meh film, to wave our own magic wand and say scriptadamus or something, or Jesus, that was a shitty joke if ever was one.
No.
Anyway.
I mean, it's not much different from what she does, is it?
As always, we like to start this podcast by talking about what we've seen or what we've been reading.
I'm reading a book which I believe has been recommended to you already, and it's Hollow Kingdom.
Is that with the crow?
It is the book with the crow.
Yes.
I was sort of wondering who the intended audience is for it. I mean, I'm on the fence a little bit. I'm probably a third of the way through. I've got this far, which means I will finish it, and I'm enjoying it. It does seem fairly desperate to be made into something, or it seems like it was written intention that it's going to be made into something. I feel a bit sorry for it because people are over zombies now, so I think it may have missed the boat.
Is it a zombie book? I had no idea.
It's a zombie book told through the perspective of animals. And the crow is our main protagonist, and we follow him on his journey to sort of understand what's going on and then find a purpose in the new world, which I think it's quite clever because they're outside of what's happening.
It's a great hook.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's a better hook than it is a book. It's not very nice, is it? And I believe there's a sequel, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a third one. I think it's got that scope. And I think anything like that starts off relatively small, but you can go anywhere with a story like that because you can visit another part of the world. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, ... Yeah.
And yourself?
I'm on season 4 of Slow Horses.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just...
Gary Oldman.
I wish I could pull off the accent because it's so... Carl Urban has got the market cornered on, oi, 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 Homelander done bollocks me wife and nicked me bloody son. Flaming diabolical. That works. Whereas Mr. Oldman has got the market cornered on a much more lived in, very realistic, everyone in the TV show keeps calling his character repugnant and dirty and filthy. And anyway, the show is fantastic. Every season has been gold. If you want a spy TV show with a good budget, very well written and cast within an inch of its life, if you want your spies to be the worst spies there are, but somehow get the job fucking done, and not in a Hollywood like, oh, isn't this funny kind of way, like more in a very, very British, these fucking idiots suck, but they're my fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's quite a nice expression. I know it's got Sophie Okonedo in it, right?
Yes.
And I saw her, well, I won't say where it is, but she lives in my sister's hometown. And I saw her in Argos. For anyone who's British, they'll know what Argos is. It's do you have Argos in New Zealand?
No, what is it?
It's sort of invented an analog version of the internet. You walk in, there's nothing in the room apart from a brochure.
What?
Put in the brochure, and then you think, oh, that toaster looks nice. And the toaster has a number next to it. And you type the number into a little keypad in front of you. And then that goes through to the 2 or 3 people who are standing behind the desk. And then they walk to this little warehouse upstairs and bring you down what you wanted. So it's like ordering off Amazon.
What the fuck? What? This takes up physical space. There's a shop space where you walk in the fucking door.
There's nothing
and you
in it.
Through a brochure.
Yeah, honestly, no joke.
This is some THX 1138 bullshit going on here. What the fuck?
It's still going. It predates the internet for sure.
This is a proven business model.
Yeah. And it's been there since the year dot. It's been in my sister's hometown. It's been in the same place since I can remember. And for some reason, Sophie Okonedo was in there. I didn't actually see if she bought anything. I think she was just browsing.
She would have been as confused as I fucking am, walking in saying, what the fuck is this? Is this a kill room? What the fuck?
She looked like an Argus veteran to me. I bet she thought, well, I don't want to surf the internet today. I'm going to go and have a look through their brochure. Just the lovely Sophie Okonedo, and who is a fantastic actor. So I did have to be like, oh, should I say I like you? And obviously I didn't, but
wow.
And linking back to this film, the other person who lives in that town is Mr. Weasley from Harry Potter, Ron Weasley's dad.
Oh, wow. The other Weasley. All right.
Papa Weasley. So we saw him not long ago and my wife lost her shit with excitement. She didn't say anything, don't worry.
Oh, you should have pushed her in his general direction, being like, yo, I have this.
No. That shan't be allowed in my company. We walked, we acknowledged the fact it had happened. We made weird eye contact and walked away.
Sounds about like every date I've had recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
A shuffling of hands and feet, some slight glances exchanged, and then out of there.
I do want to watch Slow Horses, but I don't. It's on Apple Plus, isn't it?
It's on Apple Plus, which I gotta say is a streaming service worth your time because you've got For All Mankind, which is, I don't know how it keeps getting better with every season, but it does. Slow Horses. It's got a lot of really good genre sci-fi stuff. It's pretty good. Anyway, I'm sorry, listeners, because we've hit a high point. This Argos thing has fucking floored me. It's not going to get any better from here. Like, if you shut off from this point onwards, no judgment. If you're Googling now, like, what the fuck is this Argos shit? Well, it's far more informative than what we're going to say about this movie. There are many things I can do. I can eat 2 whole pizzas in one sitting. I can list various guest stars who've graced Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but what I can't do is contain an irrepressible, unstoppable Mark Tasker when he lets loose. And this episode, friend, he's practically unleashed. So instead of trying to cage him to our normal episode flow, you know, the one where we talk about what's good, what was the first issue, why did they make these choices, you know what I'm talking about. I feel it's best for this episode to sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the ride as Mark takes us through the many, many inconsistencies, head scratchers, and outright unfathomable choices awaiting us in 2018's Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, written by J.K. Rowling and directed by David Yates. Enjoy. A basic summary of this film. There's a guy named Newt. He likes beasties. For some reason, this quirky, awkward Muppet of a man keeps getting pulled into these.
Are we talking about the human? Or are we talking about... We're talking about the human character.
Am I right in assuming this movie makes it very, very clear wizards are different physiologically than humans?
Yeah.
We're talking like X-Men mutant bullshit where fucking Charles Xavier is going to be like, you're different. That's my fucking Patrick Stewart there, right?
Yeah, that wasn't great. That's actually a really good point because I think she has gone in that direction. I think if you like the books, it's kind of like,
wasn't she like they were shitting in the street and evaporating their shit?
Yeah. It is curious how she's kind of developed the mythology of wizards. I think that's quite a good analogy. Actually, it is almost like a mutation at this point.
You have a great idea, and then you spend the next 20 fucking years stuffing it with like, and this and this and this and this, which this movie does. This movie loves to do. But hey, I am also guilty of this. I mean, I've written a couple of books as I've been working on them, reworking them, getting them ready for their, what I'm calling the director's cut. Yes, I can hear the audience sighing right now. I had the chance to kind of, wait a minute, I can actually mention something from book 4 and book 1. So I have been weaving that in there and trying not to take up more page space than it's worth. Speaking of page space, continuing this fucking summary. So Newt, is it Scamander? Salamander? Is it? Scamander. It is Scamander. Scamander. Newt Scamander gets involved with, look, there's a bad guy named Grindelwald, as Mark and I have suggested. We don't know what the fuck he wants.
No.
Basically, he wants to do bad things, and Newt and all the good wizards who I don't know who are. Is it the Ministry?
Yeah, I don't know.
They want to stop him.
And then it pulls the rug out by saying, but he actually wants to kill Nazis.
Yes.
He wants to stop the atomic bomb.
Yep.
But let's stop him from stopping the atomic bomb, which I guess they do because, spoilers for everyone, there were atomic bombs dropped. I imagine her at the beginning of this thinking, right, we need a big bad. Can't do Voldemort, really. We'll do Grindelwald, who in the films is a very, very short cameo as like this diminished old man in prison, for anyone who remembers.
Is he? Wait, is he in?
I think it's the last one.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
when
shit.
Voldemort's doing his like tour of prisons to try and get the MacGuffin, he goes to see the one seller, then he goes to see the one maker, and at some point he goes to see Grindelwald. And what's interesting is there's a little flashback of Grindelwald stealing the Elder Wand. Oh God. And it's the same actor who's in the flashback in this film. But in that film, he is completely inconsequential. Anyway, Rowling has thought, right, we need a bad guy. Let's make an antagonist. As you said, and I'm glad you're watching with fresh eyes. What is he trying to do? It is never clear at any point.
We're just getting well and truly off track here. Let's try and bring this into some semblance of order.
Good luck.
Much like Grindelwald, I think, wants order.
Yeah, maybe.
Or what the fuck? So Mark has mentioned his history with the Harry Potter franchise. I saw them as they came out. I liked them. I read all the books. I like the books. I never fucked with any of the miscellaneous other books, like what this is fucking based on, or I never saw the play, never played the video games. So for me, it's Harry or bust. It's Radcliffe or nothing. And the ride, I get really sick when I go on that ride. In fact, I've been on that ride with you, Mark, and I just kept my eyes closed the whole goddamn time.
Exactly. My wife was the same. I said, oh, did you enjoy that when we came out? She goes, I couldn't open my eyes. It is so nausea-inducing. Not as nausea-inducing as this film, but it's so nausea-inducing. They were trying something with the technology, which probably by now is probably quite good. But it's an atrocity, that ride. It really is. You know, it amazes me that it's still there in that form. And maybe they might have toned it down. They probably have, because when I rode it, it was unbelievably vomit-inducing.
Let's continue using the A word. What does work in this film, actually? There's the A word. What does work in this film? And I'm going to come in hot and say, Jacob. I love Jacob.
Absolutely.
I like that character. I like that actor.
Yeah.
I like the joy. It's such a joyous role, but not in this fucking movie. Whatever was good about the character in the first movie has been stripped away, and now it's all he cares about is his girlfriend. So much so, I started to actually write down every time he said her name. From the moment that she storms away and leaves him, he says her name in terms of the ratio of his dialogue. Overwhelmingly, his dialogue is her name, which is Queenie, Queenie, Queenie. Queenie. What a disservice to that character.
Absolutely.
Ouch.
You haven't said, but you have actually watched both of them back to back today, I believe. And
yes, I just finished a 5-hour, the 2 hours and 10 minutes or around about there. So yeah, let's say, 4 hours back to back of these two.
I think you're right. He's easily the best character. And in the first one, he's quite an effective audience avatar. I really do think they get that right, especially because the new character is deliberately standoffish or autism coded, which is totally fine. It's complicated, and I am not an expert in discussing such matters, so I won't. But in that first film, he doesn't look people in the eye and he's aloof and uncomfortable socially. And I think that's quite interesting to have that balanced with this very grounded, really, really beautifully and quite subtly comedically acted muggle character. I think that duo in the first one, not bad and something quite fresh. I'll give it that.
I like that he was an adult man.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Oh, that really got me going. Yeah. Oh, I love the portly American middle-aged men. But no, it was like a nice difference from, of course, Harry Potter, which is young children. It's great to see a male character that isn't, I hate this term, alpha.
Yeah.
Overly aggressive or overly posturing. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's middle-aged and he's effervescent. He's joyous. He's like, wow, at all the magic stuff. Not once is he like, nah, this shit is fucking weird. I'm out of here. He's, for the most part, along for the ride and happy to be here.
Yeah, in that first one, definitely. I'd say that the positive is it's basically a smug-free zone. There are actually no smug characters that I can think of. There are dour characters, and in the second one, void characters, where the guy that keeps kind of stalking them quietly and it has a worm pulled out of his eye, I think it's a Lestrange of some sort.
Corvus, something, half-brother Lestrange. fuck. I just watched it, but I couldn't tell you anything.
We'll get to that very, very confusing and contrived double baby reveal. Like absolutely off the wall crazy. But anyway.
What else works? I'll say the opening escape sequence.
Oh, right. Of the second one. Yeah.
I love rain in movies. It's a weird fetish of mine to have, but just I love rainy sequences, which is probably 80% of the reason I actually adore Roland Emmerich's Godzilla movie. It's just soaking in rain in that movie. But it sets things up nicely. I mean, it sets up Grindelwald very clearly as the baddie. Not much more than that, though. But anything that you can say works about this movie, actually?
I actually can't. I will say this is nothing to do with the script. The scene where they jump into the bucket and end up in Paris.
The Portkey, yep.
That's set on the Seven Sisters where my wife and I took our wedding photos.
Oh, nice.
That works for me. I like that place. But no, I honestly, I know sometimes I sort of glibly say no and then you point a few things out and I go, yeah, actually, you're right. In this, no. There just isn't. Because the betrayal of Human Man, the betrayal of him is inexcusable. And the introduction of characters without really introducing them, but in the very barest way introducing them.
Well, then let's get into it. What was the first mistake the movie made, Mark, for you? What was the first, oh no?
So Jacob and Queenie, Newt is whatever he's doing, newting around. They come in and it very swiftly becomes clear that she has bewitched him. So anyone that has seen the first one, at the end of that, he's had his memory wiped. And then he comes in, he goes, oh, Newt, and gives him a hug. And Newt's not a hugger, which is why he can't hug him back, which is whatever.
But then he hugs his bro at the end, gives him a big hug.
Oh, yeah, that's the character arc, isn't it?
Well, after his fiance fucking got peeled alive, yeah.
Yeah, you can see bloody Rowling clapping her hands at her own genius. So Queenie in that first one, she's a little bit annoying, but she's clearly defined as a character, right? That's what she is. She's a little bit busy. She's a fun time girl. She's a flapper, and I think that's all right. In this, she has bewitched, drugged her boyfriend. You're already put on the back foot. Well, hang on, what's going on here? Why has this happened?
Yeah.
The reason she's done it. Okay, tell you what, you tell me, why has she done it?
In this world, in this time period, especially in America, muggles or non-magi, whatever the fuck they call them, non-magi and magic affiliated cannot date, cannot marry. It's coded racism, whatever you want to call it. So much so in this movie, I have a quote, they don't let people like me marry people like you. Doesn't get much more blunter than that, does it? Well, no, it does, because she leaves him and it starts to rain. But basically, yes, she wants to marry him. She wants kids. She wants a future with him. And he doesn't want her to fuck up her life. As soon as she commits to this, there's no going back for her. He's just a normal human. She is a magician. Quite rightly, he's not even saying never, ever, ever, ever fuck off. He's just saying, yo, slow your roll. We need to be very careful about this. In fact, let's discuss this in detail. And she just steamrolls over him, drugs him, takes him overseas to get married.
It is one of the oddest conceptions. It's basically what starts part of the plot, isn't it? Her doing that and then the subsequent appallingly written argument. The argument they have afterwards is so bad. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever at all. Eddie Redmayne's just kind of looking on almost like he's learning this is the plot for the actor is learning this is happening for the first time. He's just looking on like, what, you're not doing this, are you? I think he was talking to Rowling when he said that. It doesn't make any sense. It's really, really weird. And it puts the audience in a strange position. Well, how am I supposed to feel here? It's too convoluted. If they were together, hiding away, why can't we just get married? Why does she have to? It's so weird. I just can never get over it.
And we're never shown a sequence like a close scrape or a near miss where Jacob has learned, yo, fuck no. The last we saw of these two characters was a very sweet scene at the end of the first movie where she comes into the bakery of his, and it's great. You think, oh, they're going to get together.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then we're introduced to them in the sequel. He's clearly drugged, but I can't tell if it's meant to be comedic.
Right, exactly.
Or not.
Tone is bizarre.
It doesn't lean into comedy at all. In fact, throughout this movie, there's not a lot of leaning into comedy at all. Even with the aforementioned beasties, the Niffler is back, that cute as fuck Niffler, but even the Niffling has been reduced. I'd say it's about a good 40% cuff on some niffing.
Absolutely.
But then how do you find the end scene with Queenie and Jacob where she does pick a side and it's quite histrionic, her reaction? And what do you think about that end?
The whole thing started because she loves this guy so much. She desperately wants to marry him in defiance of social convention.
As established in the first movie, there isn't anyone else like him. He's a genuinely good soul, and he's a great match for her.
What about what Grindelwald says makes her believe that this is the guy that's going to make that happen? That awful monologue that Depp gives. He uses that rhetoric. Obviously, Rowling thinks she's clever by using sort of political rhetoric, right? So
no more hiding in the shadows. No more stopping who we love.
But everything he's saying is they're them, we're us. Like literally his message is that. So why the hell would somebody who wants that gap to be bridged go with him? It's nuts. It's so stupid. And actually the third film very kind of quickly is like, that didn't make any sense, did it?
Unless you force me to, I'm not going to watch the third movie. I just did a quick scan on Wikipedia. Couldn't give a damn about Newt or anyone. I just wanted to see what would happen with Jacob in the third movie.
Yeah.
By proxy, what Queenie would do. Mark and I have talked long about the Star Wars sequels, the sequel trilogy. They had Kylo do his slaughtering of his dad. I would have loved to have seen them just lean into that and be like, no, you know what? I had a chance of being a good guy. I don't want it. I am this fucking guy. I was hoping Queenie in the third movie, actually what would make me watch that film is if in the third movie, Queenie becomes Grindelwald's right-hand partner and just fucking commits. But no, it's waved away and it's like, okay.
No, nothing happens at all. And in fact, Jacob, he really doesn't need to be in the third film whatsoever. The third film just becomes Jude Law and Mads Mikkelsen. Do they love each other? Do they hate each other? That's it. That is the only thing that matters in that film. There's nothing else.
I see Tina isn't even in the third movie, aside from fucking Newt realizing out of nowhere in this second movie, oh my God, this is the one for me. And then she pops right at the back end of the third movie like, oh, hi, I'm here, by the way.
Very quickly on a technical thing, he's been obliviated, right? So obliviate meaning all of his memories have been taken away. And Newt's like, well, hang on a minute, you're obliviated. And he says, yeah, but you told me that it would only be bad memories, right? But anyone who's watched Harry Potter, in a very, I think, quite affecting scene when Hermione wipes her parents' memories of her, she uses the same spell, obliviate, and they forget all about her and she disappears from all the pictures. So does that mean they never had any happy memories with their daughter? You are the writer of all of this, and you have come out in the beginning of this second film and destroyed the importance of that scene. You know, anyone who's got a family, doesn't matter if you've got kids, even if you've just got a cat, the idea of that being wiped out of your memory is a horrific idea. And she doesn't go back on it in those books, and good, because it has so much weight. And in this, she hand waves it. Get fucked. I'm not that passionate defender of bloody Harry Potter, but that is a real slap in the face.
That's the general threat from whenever you make a sequel that is in fact a prequel. Especially after fucking Deathly Hallows, we've seen the Battle of Hogwarts. We've seen how big it can get. Well, unfortunately, these are sequels. They have to get bigger. In the first movie, fucking New York gets demolished, and now we're going to see fucking Paris get demolished. So the scale is so much bigger than those original movies ever were. Magic, or the rules that establish the original, will get stomped on left, right, and center just to make this new thing work. And that is unfortunately what causes the ire of people who care about canon and fandom.
You can hand wave in a smarter way. You could say, actually, I've got this stone, or I've got this tape measure that can measure the memories back into your head. I mean, just say something, but she couldn't be asked. And no one had the power to say to her, actually, Joanne, that thing? No. And I'm not really one of these people that cares that much. But for me, that is just a bizarre laziness to that. Right, and very quickly on the disappearance of
Tina.
I think officially she had quite bad COVID and couldn't get to where she needed to be in order to film. Obviously, they had a release date that they obviously felt they had to make. Maybe it was a contractual thing. Maybe that is true. But to write out, she comes up in, I think it's literally the last shot of the third film. Apparently, she was very critical of some of Rowling's opinions.
Right.
So some people have said, nah, Rowling just wanted her gone. It's a bit like Ezra Miller basically completely disappears from the third film. for reasons anyone who's ever looked at the internet will understand. They've got themselves into a real pickle. So we go from there. The next sequence is, right, they have that terribly written argument, and then Queenie...
Yes, she goes to see her sister. She gets all lonely because she can't find her sister. Then she can't find Jacob. And then scene, fucking stumbles across Grindelwald.
Yeah.
And Grindelwald is like, I know you. And it's like, wait, does he? And he convinces her in the span of 2 minutes to just be like, here's how it is, lady.
Grindelwald's Bellatrix Lestrange light character, the one that's holding a skull in the final scene for some reason.
It's the evil French lady, yeah.
Evil French lady, because everything is about marriage. If you can't get married, you're insignificant. You're completely inconsequential, according to Rowling. So, and also, why doesn't Queenie and him just have a fucking relate? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Queenie says to Frenchie, are you married? And then she says something really enigmatic, like, no, but I can't remember what she says. We are the most, basically weird shagging is basically what she says. But it really, really weirdly, the way she says it. And one thing about this film that's really interesting, there are so many of those kinds of characters. People are in the background, people the camera focuses on, and you're like, well, hang on, who the hell's that? Like when they arrive at Hogwarts, there's like 5, 6, 7, 8 of these auras, but you're like, well, hang on, who's that one? Never find out, doesn't matter. Who's never find out, doesn't matter. They don't need to be there, but she thinks I need to make it look like there are lots of people involved in this.
Vinda Rosier is the character's name.
The first person ever to know that. Congratulations. Make her a character then. And you can do it quite quickly. It's absolutely bizarre. You can tell I'm a lot more passionate about this than I usually am because it's shocking for a professional writer. You must feel that. I mean, you're a writer. You must be watching this thinking, hang on.
Jumping in here to tell you a funny story about Momo and Matsu, my book that's available right now on Amazon in ebook, hardcover, and that most glorious of versions, the paperback. So I was having a couple of drinks with a friend last night, peering over his beer. He asked me, where the fuck did you get this idea for this Momo and Matsu book? Was it an anime thing? I'm never sure how accurate this observation is, but if you're living in Tokyo, it seems as though the mantra is work is life. Like, for example, in New Zealand, if I text a friend and say, sorry, I can't make it to our thing, something from work came up, my friend would be like, yo, that fucking sucks. Really? You can't get out of it? What the fuck? But in Japan, it's an instant, oh, okay, work is infallible. So the idea of retirees, someone who is approaching retirement, someone who has lived their life in service of their job and very little else, what would retirement be like? Well, I thought it'd be terrifying. It would be a version of that horrible, wonderful moment from the Shawshank Redemption, where Brooks leaves the prison, and that prison is all he's known his entire adult life. And I thought, wouldn't that have elements of that as well? Wouldn't that be terrifying for someone? And then, of course, because it's me, I had to add some monsters. I'm not going to make apologies. Monsters are awesome. How does this all come together? Does it, in fact, come together successfully? You decide by jumping onto Amazon, grabbing a paperback, an ebook, a hardcover. If you are on Kindle Unlimited, then the book is free. You can just download it to your ebook reader and away you go. If you know Japan, if you know Tokyo, then hopefully there's a lot of, oh, I know that. Oh man, that happened to me too. If you don't really know Japan, have never been to Tokyo, then hopefully it's like opening a window and you're like, so that's what it's like over there. Huh. Either way, I hope it's a great read for you. But enough of that. I want to get back to Mark's flaming indignation about this damn Fantastic Beasts movie. Seriously, I've known the guy for quite a while. He's a really mellow guy most of the time. So to see him so incensed by this film, by this relatively innocuous film, oh, it just cheers me up to no end. Let's get back to it. I'm worried that our advice, our critique, our suggestion for all of these movies comes down to the same point, which is simplify. And I was reading some reviews of this movie after the fact to see if where my opinion fell. And it seems as though it's unanimous across the board. Basically, everyone keeps on saying overstuffed, way too many characters. Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, that's what's wrong with this movie. If this movie is about Newt, you could have fooled me. Let me read some lines to you that just stuck out to me. Dumbledore, we'll get into him. Dumbledore says, I cannot move against Grindelwald. It has to be you. But wait, but seriously, does it? Why the fuck does it have to be Newt? Considering that Dumbledore is mentioned no less than twice in this movie as the most powerful magician and the only one that can go up against Grindelwald. Quote, you are the only wizard who is his equal. You must fight him. No, I'm going to send the quirky guy with the suitcase after him. That's what I'm going to do. You fucking idiot, Dumbledore.
It does say at the end of the film, did you get why Grindelwald and Dumbledore can't fight?
The blood pact, right? They can't actually physically harm each other.
It's literally
right?
like a lover's pact. So like, as you rightly say, Newt is basically a pacifist who all he wants to do is look at animals. Well, and now, out of nowhere, has a weird obsession with Tina. That's not really in the first film. They got kind of a cute little thing going on, but it's no, it's nothing beyond that. The way he reacts at the beginning when he's like, "Oh no, she thinks of," and that fiance thing. Oh my God. Because he's not social, he can't just say, actually, it's so excruciating. And the scene where he finally does say, actually, I'm not engaged, appallingly written. The actors look embarrassed to say the lines.
Right. So I've got some questions for you. The very, very first note that I wrote was, what distinguishes Grindelwald from Voldemort? And I mean, obviously, physical differences, yada, 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 yada. But big bad guy, wand, wants to kill a lot of people, has a lot of power, has a lot of followers, is a super powerful magician. Everyone's afraid of him. Seemingly the officials can never fucking find this guy / can never fight him. What is there? Like,
I mean, once you get to the last two films, the difference is not very big at all. But let's say the first 3-4 books / films, there's this undercurrent, this tension is building up about this character. In this, the first film with Colin Farrell playing a detective who's actually Voldemort in disguise, and when he pulls
Grindelwald,
off his
yep.
yeah,
Yep.
sorry, there you go.
See?
Proving your point. A very, very weird way to introduce any character. It's almost like kind of Doctor Who-y, kind of mastery, isn't it? But from nowhere.
I think in the back of my mind, maybe I knew about the reveal, but as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, that's the bad guy, right?
Well, obviously.
The movie doesn't shy away from that's the bad guy.
But why does it have to turn into I think I'll answer your question. Not a great deal if you look at the last two books / 2.5, 3 films versus what we see in this. Not a great deal.
I don't know if you've actually seen much of this, but Dragon Ball Z, it's always the same. The lead character, Goku, is going to just punch the fuck out of a bad guy. But over multiple seasons or multiple arcs, each bad guy was different. Or the fucking Rocky movies, Clubber Lang is different than Ivan. It's movie making 101. If you've got the big bad guy, and I suppose in a big blockbuster, you always have to have the big bad guy. But even the Bond movies, for the most part, well, this one's got an eye patch. That one doesn't. This one wants to rule the world. This one wants to kill it. I couldn't tell the difference between these two bad guys. They both do the same thing. They are revealed and then they hide in one location for most of the movie. They do a couple of speeches. They do what they consider to be manipulating. And then they pop up in the end for the big explosive battle.
Yeah.
Then they fucking run off.
They got a weird relationship with Dumbledore, or a confused love-hate relationship with Dumbledore, because the woman has no fucking imagination. Aside from those little things, the sweets and the butterbeer and all that. I mean, you earlier said she's a good writer. I think she wrangled other people's ideas into a really nicely made world. I will say that.
Do I think the Avatar movies stand the test of time? Probably not. Do I own them on 4K? I don't. Have I seen all of those story elements before? Yeah. But is the movie entertaining? Yeah. I mean, I've done it myself. Stolen. Well, I'll take a bit of salt from here, a bit of pepper from there, a bit of herbs from there, and then I'll put what I love and I'll try and mix it up and hopefully it becomes a good stew.
That's the difference. You said what I love. Does Rowling love anything?
She loves the use of public toilets, clearly believes that men go here and women go here and others do not belong anywhere.
She loves hate, doesn't she? It's a really good point, though, because I've read your work and, we work together on various things. You got passion and energy. I love this. I'm going to include this. I love this. I'm going to include this. I'm going to pull out bits. I don't think she's capable of it. Or I haven't seen any evidence. I haven't read any of her adult stuff.
Speaking of women, can you explain to me why the three female leads, not including Queenie, she's quote unquote spoken for, the other three female leads, one and the bad French lady. Okay, so on the movie's poster, basically, the three female leads, Lita Lestrange, introduced in this movie, Tina, and then you've got some random worker in Newt's laboratory cave. All three female characters absolutely want to knock boots with Newt. So much so that when Lita's introduced, the fucking camera can't focus on anything else but her face. I get having a romantic lead, that's fine, but three female characters in one movie, just googly eyes for your main character. Oh.
And that's not what the character was written to be. Like in the first film, there's no hint of that whatsoever, and nor should there be. And it doesn't need to be. That bizarre moment where the unbelievably gorgeous Kravitz looks in the direction of fucking Eton brother boy, who is shocking in this film. But is she looking at Newt when she says, I love you? I don't care. I don't know. She looks at everyone like that, seemingly. It's like she's had the courage, quote unquote, to make this rather unconventional lead character in Scamander and say, look, he's actually interested in different stuff. And that's quite cool. And I like that as an idea. You know, as a character, like we're talking about the writing, as a character, yeah, all right, good. And again, to then have and what is the housekeeper? What is she supposed to be like? What's her face from Sherlock Holmes?
The apartment owner, yeah, the landlady.
Again, why?
Speaking of why,
drinking game for everyone listening. Every time Brad says speaking of,
Grindelwald wants to rule, but why? It's never explained. We're told continuously throughout this movie, everyone is going to need to pick a side. Pick a side, pick a side, pick a side. So it's a foregone conclusion that Grindelwald will win.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying you have to pick a side, the threat that he represents has a high chance of succeeding.
And also, what's the other side? Is the other side slightly mopey men in cord suits and hats? Like there's that dour Scottish guy who's like, we have to get him at all costs. That's not a very good Scottish accent.
Now look here, there's barely enough room on this podcast for one idiot attempting bad impressions and the accents. And that role, as the listeners, our friends, our dear mates know full well, has been filled. Thank you very much.
For a film that's so long, nothing is drawn clearly. No lines are made, so we can then have a look at either side of them. Do you have any other questions? I keep dragging you off track.
No, it's good. I've got a lot. Let's get to the Jude Law elephant in the room, Dumbledore. If you're a movie fan, quite likely you've come across a movie where a new actor will replace an actor that you've known before. You know, for example, just talking about Bond, there have been how many Bonds? I think we're used to that. But one thing that I kind of stick to is, unless you're Doctor Who, where with each regeneration, the Doctor is played a little differently. You allow some leeway. I don't think Jude Law has ever seen a Harry Potter movie. His version of Dumbledore, how many years are we out? In the lore of this world, how before is this thing? Yeah, 1927 is the second movie. So what? And Harry Potter is 1999 or something?
There are loads of videos explaining this. Like the scene where Dumbledore goes to meet Voldemort when he's a naughty little boy. And someone said like it's only 15 years after the third of these films or something like that.
Visually and in terms of acting and in terms of just choices, the Dumbledore I'm used to, I'm not seeing on screen.
No.
But that's not to do with the script. What is to do with the script is the Dumbledore of it all. And then later on, bringing back Hogwarts physically.
Yeah. Oh.
It reeked of, hey, you like your chocolate? Well, here's some extra chocolate. And it's just
appalling.
I mean, I suppose the Star Wars franchise, every fucking iteration, they've got to go back to Tatooine for some reason. So I suppose for every Harry Potter, you'll have to go back to Hogwarts.
Hate it. And it's funny because when it comes in that film, the film's going nowhere. It's flatlined and literally cut. Do, 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 do. Please wake up. Might as well be just please don't leave the cinema or please don't turn this off. Look, there you go. Your dopamine hit is here. Don't worry. And that sequence, so they arrive on the bridge, which has echoes of of the end of Deathly Hallows, right? They have the boggart scene, which is exactly the same in the original one with, oh, here's a character. It's a flash. Oh, now we're having a flashback. Okay. One of the flashbacks is almost exactly the same as when Snape meets Harry's mum. And now we've just got Newt meets Lestrange. It's shoehorned in. We're told in one or two lines that there's kind of a history and she's apparently his fiance. That whole storyline reeks. It's crap. But you've got that in there. You've got, oh, look, there are a few children. Look, there are children over there. And then one of them's like, oh, I'm looking forward to this. Oh, there's the Draco character. Oh, look, they're still in their houses. And I think Jude Law's quite good in this. He's just not Dumbledore. It's a relatively touching scene where he's talking to Newt. Or like, I think he does all right in it, but it's just not the same character very, very obviously.
I find, and this is just me speaking here, I find Jude Law's acting choices to be very, very blank, which I think works really well for him in indie movies.
Yeah.
The indie movie, whatever it might be, it kind of pours itself into the cup that is Jude Law, and it works wonderful. But every time I see him in a blockbuster, the blockbuster overwhelms him. He just becomes just a blank, which is a shame because the man can clearly act.
I think that's fair. I don't know if he understood the brief because there isn't one. Rowling obviously doesn't know really where she's going with it.
No, which leads me into my next question. Speaking of fair, is it fair that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Newt tells Tina, we've got to sneak into the ministry, and this is at the 3/4 mark, so just before the climax, we've got to sneak into the ministry because there's a thing in there that will help us find out some fucking information on Credence. Credence we're going to talk about right after this. I can't think of a more obvious, we need an action sequence here. We need a CGI action fest now.
It's like the characters look down at the runtime. Oh, shit. Right, let's go and I don't know how to describe the pacing. Like, I'm sure if anyone studied music theory, there's probably a musical pattern that reflects the pacing of this film. Very quickly, before I forget. So there's a freak show. So the wizards are...
I was hoping you bring this up.
So the wizards are developing their ethical stance on things at the same time as humans. Exactly the same. Because my wife said, well, humans were like that back then. And still are now, let's be honest. I'm like, yeah, but they're not humans, are they? So is it that wizards and humans are exactly in parallel in terms of their development about social thing? Look at this woman. She's turn into a snake. Oh my God, she's into a snake. It's your fucking wizards. There's shit like that happening everywhere you look. Why would you be paying to mock? By the way, what is her character design? Upper class Chinese prostitute?
Played by a Korean actress, I believe.
But as a character, and also do you remember she's the snake from, are you fucking joking?
That was the reaction I was looking for. Once I figured it out, because I don't know if it says so in the movie, I couldn't believe I pulled that name from my fucking ass, Nagini. I couldn't believe I remember that. I was like, is that going to be Nagini? And turns out it fucking is. But I was like, I can't wait to hear what Mark thinks about this. Are you fucking kidding me?
When you read those stories to your kids, when Nagini's introduced, you'll have to do a little aside. Okay, boys, just so you know, it turns out she's actually a really, really pretty East Asian woman who's just trapped in that snake's body. Right. Anyway, Harry said, because are you winding me up? A tragic backstory. It's insane. And she's in love with fucking Credence Clearwater Revival. It's nuts.
Let's talk about Credence. The Ezra Miller of it all is hopefully it was in the last of them. But movie 1 and movie 2, Credence never worked for me.
No.
So much so that anytime Credence was on screen or anything to do with Credence, I would move my little mouse cursor down to the Netflix shuffle of it all and just see, when will the thumbnail reveal to me the next scene that Credence is not in? I would gauge, is it only 30 seconds I have to wait? Is it 2 minutes? I mean, I didn't see the convoluted name drop at the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you see that happening?
That fucking fell to the ground like a bag of wet fruit. You are Dumbledore. It's like, great. You are, just say Skywalker. It's like, yeah, look, fuck, who cares?
I can't follow it, but he goes with Nagini, poor old Nagini, and he goes to find who he thinks is his mum. Is it touching? If you cared, I suppose it would be. And then it goes in and it's this very short French witch lady who definitely should have been played by the little woman from Poltergeist.
Zelda Rubinstein? Okay.
The best.
This house is clean.
It would have added 3 to 4 stars onto the rating of this film. But he meets Zelda, and then a really weird conversation between them. Like the whole atmosphere. I honestly thought she was just going to breastfeed him.
You are a beautiful baby, and you're a beautiful. I don't know what she said. Like Arnold.
She does.
You're a beautiful baby, and you're an even more beautiful man. With the triceps. Did I blink or look away or have an episode or something? Suddenly she was dead on the floor.
Yeah.
I didn't remember seeing her actually take the hit and fall.
It's the mysterious man in the hat who is
Yes.
a follower of Grindelwald. Yeah, because is that really...
Now I've got your job, Newt. Oh, great. Who the fuck you are? Oh, you turn out to be a bad guy? That's like, oh, this coat rack over here turns out to be another coat rack.
He has a really ominous, like, there's a shot down a long tunnel, and he's standing there. Grindy comes around and goes, well done. That's the end of that scene, and we never see that guy again. He seems incredibly powerful because Credence is using his scribble magic on him. That guy's like, get to fuck, mate. You can't touch me, but you will kill Zelda Rubinstein. It's just, what?
The scribble magic in the first movie didn't work for me at all, but the scribble magic in that sequence, I thought the CG work was stunning because I love shit exploding, and the idea of the upper half of an apartment exploding, then de-exploding, then exploding. It did it about 4 times.
You're saying this is the guy, this is the entity that's going to take out Dumbledore, but he can't even take out the coat hanger. He's not that powerful, actually. He's a bit powerful to human buildings, but when it comes down to it, the bloke's literally laughing in his face as he kills Zelda Rubinstein.
This movie does this quite a few times. I've written this down here in my notes. Explanatory info on Grindelwald and Credence is told to Newt in the beginning, but he's not a part of it. But Newt should be the one doing the info dump because he was fucking there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the third one. Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Later on in the movie, Grindelwald, he's in his fucking French apartment. And so Mr. Depp launches into about a minute's worth of, here's the thing, buddy. Who can stop us? Albus. Of course, Albus, he's the number one thing. Was I wrong in thinking we've informed the audience that wizards are different? Why couldn't someone just snipe fucking Albus with a gun from like a book depository? Since when did Albus Dumbledore become the most powerful motherfucker in the world? Because I've seen him fucking die. Granted, he was an old man and he kind of let it happen, but it's not that hard. Push the fucker out a window. So only Credence can kill Dumbledore. We're told that by the bad guy, but no one else backs it up. Credence doesn't know what the fuck is going on the entire movie.
You said this wasn't going to be as long as Indiana Jones, and I thought you were going to be wrong, and I think you are.
Oh shit, we got to wrap this up fucking quick.
So the lion thing, lovely design, nice eyes, quite charming. I
loved it. That was great. It was amazing. Yeah.
Happy with it. That's fine. It's so fast. It can like travel thousands of miles in 1 second. It can jump across Paris in one jump. But when it's trying to escape the nightmare cats, it's fucking and then okay, so teleportation is what it does. Okay, right. How does it know where to go? Is Newt telling it? You need to go to that graveyard in London where they're going to film the final scene. How does it know? We won't bother saying, doesn't matter. You could have though, JK. You could have. No, you've said it's really fast. Now you've proven it isn't. Now you said it can teleport. Now it knows where to go. It's nonsense.
Listeners, I was worried for a while there in our initial couple of episodes. Mark would be often described as, deadpan, sardonic, kind of morose. But clearly this episode blown the lid off and revealed him to be the hate monger that he actually is, especially when it comes to classism and fucking JK. Shit, if he sees her on the street, he will ice a bitch. So just putting it out there now.
We say a lot of things about films and, we talked about indie, and I think a lot of thought went into indie, a lot of thought. And I do think hearts really were in the right places in a lot of, even in the most recent one. And it's a shame what's happened to it. This has the whiff of I wonder if she just doesn't care. She's just like, well, thanks for the money, but I'm going to have control because I have to now, but I also don't care about it. Can you, and I'll be impressed if you can, do you understand the baby reveal thing?
No, don't give a fuck. I've written this down here, and this is where the movie really showed itself to me that it didn't have a clue about its audience's needs. Because Lita Lestrange, she walks through Hogwarts. The whole time my mind is screaming at me, wrong, wrong, wrong. I want to see Newt walk through Hogwarts. Or even better, I want to see Jacob walk through Hogwarts.
I know.
She lifts up the school desk. She's touching things. She's walking through the Great Hall. And it's like, no, this needs to be a character the audience knows and can identify with.
I think you're being unfair because they're setting up a character who's going to be pivotal. Oh no, she's dead. I said this yesterday. I'm like, why is she dying now? What do you understand about her death? Is it like a self-loathing thing? Is it like I've got to make up for what I've done in the past? But at that point, it makes no sense. He's about to fuck off.
Oh, I love Depp's performance. He's like, it's like someone's flicked the back of his ear, and he's like,
yeah.
Fuck, Depp, you got your paycheck for that third movie no matter what, so you shouldn't be making that face. But
his final line, worst line in any film, I hate Paris. What? Why? Nothing about what's happened. What? Okay, but again, I'm pushing you on this. Why does she get sacrificed? What's her character motivation? Like, imagine you're writing it and you're like, right, I need a sacrificial moment.
It is the screenwriter, it is the filmmakers, it's the producers, it's the director, it's everyone, unfortunately, feeling we need to tug the heartstrings here. And I've told you about this on the podcast before. Whenever I have that moment, it is engineered, it is weaponized. And whenever I have those moments in my book, fuck, do I stress over them. And I make sure I layer that shit throughout the book. Is it earned? I don't know. But this was just basically, just like with the fucking Ministry attack. Like, we need a moment here, heartstring moment.
Abysmal. Absolutely abysmal.
We need to wrap this up because this movie is not worth talking about for much longer.
No, I'm surprised at myself. The
final question that we always ask is, what scenes would make it better? And I think we've probably already mentioned it. Reduce the characters. You were saying about the JK of it all. I think the real crime of Grindelwald is that she must have known, or the filmmakers must have known, there was going to be 3 movies, which is never a good thing to tell a screenwriter. If you know you've got that much meat to chew on, or if you're vegan, that much tofu to chew on, if you know you've got that much, yard down the line, the second of the stories is always going to be the saggiest because it's the through line. You've got your explosion and your climax. The middle part always sags if you know that in advance. This movie, you've got the hunt for Tina, and then Credence's mommy hunt, and then Grindelwald's hunt for Credence, and then baiting Credence, and then it's the hunt for the real kid. Everyone's hunting, but no one ever does anything of merit. So much so that when Grindelwald actually does fucking meet Credence, he's just leaning back and he's like, and Credence says, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
And Grindelwald fucks it up by saying, "I don't want anything." Of course you don't, you fucking one-note piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my fix for the film, people. I know it's technical and I know I'm going into the weeds here, but really, simplify this story. I'm happy for more movies in this universe, but have, let's say, 4 main characters tops and spend time with those 4 characters again and again and again.
Yeah, I think just Newt and Jacob on another adventure. That's fine. I mean, even, keep Tina if you want to. You can even keep Queenie if you want to, but none of the other characters that are introduced in this work. 0.
Look, the only way I will watch the third movie, the Ruins of Dumbledore's Ass, or whatever the fuck it is, the only way I'll watch that movie is if some listeners beg me to. Like, Brad, you have to endure hell. Then I'll go ahead and do it. But otherwise, let's cut our losses here.
Well, yeah, it's the Mickelson, isn't it?
Points to that movie, they never ever acknowledged the change in physical features. No, I think is the right way to go.
His design's totally different. The eyes are all fine. The hair's not overly coiffured. It's anyway, go on. You got to wrap this up.
This has been a lively podcast. It's been great to see Mark just go the fuck off. It's been a real treat, and I can guarantee you there's a movie coming up soon. Well, there's 2 movies coming up soon that cause a similar reaction in myself and in Mark. Not going to tell you what it is. Maybe it's starring Sandra Bullock. Maybe the other movie is starring Bruce Willis. If you liked what you heard, first of all, thank you very much. We love making this show, and if you like it, then that means all the world. If you want to support the show, the best way to do that is to buy one of my books. Give it a read, or two, then leave a review on Amazon, Goodreads, social media, the usual players. That, honestly, helps me to feel like I'm not screaming into the void, and allows Mark and I to record more quality... Hey, you! Yeah! You! Stop your little snickering when I use the Q word in relation to this podcast. Jeez, everyone's a critic. Allows Mark and I to create more quality written off episodes. Want to ask a question? Want to tell us what a bunch of morons we are? Well, you can do both. 2 birds, 1 stone. By jumping onto Written Off Pod on Instagram. I normally have a post for each episode, so you can let us know how that particular episode was by commenting on that post. You can find me, if you like, on Instagram and Threads at Brad is Writing. And as always, you cannot find Mark because he fucking hates social media, and that's no exaggeration. Coming up in our next episode, we have something a bit different. I'm going to talk about a movie I watched that I'm so excited to talk about, and Mark hasn't seen that movie at all. So he's going to throw in comments and observations. Such treatment, such respect, such glory could only fit such a film as Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. And if you know about this film, you know it's gonna be a good one. As always, stay safe, grab a slice of pizza, and we'll catch you for the next one. Written Off is hosted by me, Bradley Freeman, and Mark Tasker. It's produced by the both of us, and it's edited by me. Our theme music is by Skane, and our artwork is by Sketchfro. This has been a Pugnacious Podcast production.